from Parkdale High Park.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Premier. During the 2014 provincial election, Premier Wynne held a media availability at Ontario Place where she said, and I quote, "Our waterfront should be for all to enjoy," unquote. I want to know from the Premier, does she still believe that today?
Absolutely, Mr. Speaker. I absolutely do believe that, and I know that the Minister of Tourism, Culture and Sport is going to want to speak to the supplementary, because I believe that the member opposite is going to talk about how we may be moving away from that position. But we are not, Mr. Speaker. We believe that Ontario Place and the property there, the trail that is being completed, Mr. Speaker, is exactly that. It is there for everyone to enjoy, and we want Ontario Place and that property to continue to be, and to be once again a vibrant part of the city and a marker of the greatness and the vibrancy of this province, Mr. Speaker. That is our goal, and that's what we're working on right now, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Supplementary.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Again, back to the Premier. Over 2 years ago, during that campaign, the Premier jogged into Ontario Place to declare that her government would not be selling off Ontario Place land. She noted that condos, like the ones proposed by the Government Advisory Panel led by John Tory, were off the table. The Premier said selling land to a private developer may be an option for others, but it's not our choice. But the Premier has quietly put in her new omnibus bill changes that make it possible to do just that, sell off Ontario Place lands to private interests. Is this another broken promise to Ontarians? Is the Premier going to sell Ontario Place?
Wow.
Minister of Tourism, Culture and Sport.
Minister of Tourism, Culture and Sport.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm delighted to stand in the House, Speaker, and I want to thank the honourable member for her question. You know, she and I, a passion for vibrant communities that are bicycle and walk friendly. We also share a common passion for green spaces, and to build on the Premier's comments, Mr. Speaker, that's exactly what we're doing with Ontario Place. We're moving forward with a vision to revitalize Ontario Place into a vibrant waterfront destination that engages residents and visitors of all ages. Our proposal builds on the vision and guiding principles in the Minister's Advisory Panel that the member opposite referred to in 2012 to create a destination that's open year-round and offers public access to the waterfront, and that's very important, Speaker. Ontario Place is remaining in the hands of Ontarians, Speaker. We worked very hard on this vision, and I want to mention that and underscore that today. The amendments, I'll just touch on them, that the member opposite refers to would actually improve the Ontario Place Corporations Act to better support our vision and make it easier to do business.
Final supplementary.
Back to the Premier, Mr. Speaker. The Premier's Omnibus Burden Reduction Act expands the purpose of Ontario Place to enable a possible change in focus from a public to a commercial operation. Ontarians want to know why the Premier thinks it is necessary for the Ontario Place Corporation to be empowered to sell off land. I ask the Premier again, why is it necessary to make these changes? What is she planning for Ontario Place? Are a casino or condos back as options? Are they or not? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm happy to build on the question that I started earlier, Mr. Speaker. Just to clarify, it's very important that the House and all Ontarians understand very clearly that what the member opposite is contending is absolutely false, Mr. Speaker. The proposed changes that we're talking about would lower the cost and complexity of transactions for the government, Ontario Place Corporation, and third-party businesses interested in investing in Ontario Place, and would support ongoing revitalization work, including, Speaker, the development of a culture hub on the West Island and a celebration hub on the East Common. You know, we have a long-term vision for Ontario Place. Let me talk about that, if I may, Mr. Speaker. That includes more green space, an area for cultural activities, and we hope all Ontarians will join us for an important Grey Cup celebration, Mr. Speaker, that will be taking place later this month, where we can celebrate the complexity of the Grey Cup and the passion that it brings to all Ontarians, because that's what Ontario Place is all about, Mr. Speaker.